Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Elite 2.0 Tactical Pack. This blaster pack came out this year in 2022, and from what I can find online, this blaster pack is sold exclusively at Target. So this video is actually a viewer suggestion by Mark Sebastian Velasco. Mark commented on the Ultimate Blaster Pack review, asking if I could check out the Elite 2.0 Tactical Pack. So thanks for the suggestion, Mark, and thank you for watching my videos. It's very much appreciated. Alright, so let's start off by talking about the packaging. Very simple open box packaging here, where you can see all of the blasters. Kind of the standard for Nerf these days. So starting off with this little blaster right here. This is the Ace. The Ace is pretty much the simplest blaster in this pack. It's basically the Elite 2.0 version of the Jolt. For those who don't know, the Jolt is probably the simplest blaster on the market. It's probably also the cheapest blaster that you can buy from Nerf. So this is basically its sequel. The next blaster we have is the Trio. For those who have watched the Ultimate Blaster Pack review, probably recognize this blaster from that. Except it is a different color. Instead of being in its standard colors, we have this weird mint green, almost like toothpaste. It's kind of cool. And lastly, we have here the Operator. From what I can find online, the Tactical Pack is the only place that you can buy the Operator. It's not sold by itself, and doesn't appear to be sold in any other tactical packs. So that's kind of cool. Other information on the box we have is 20 darts. These are lime and blue, probably to match the color scheme of some of the blasters. This blaster pack is also ages 8+, and we can't forget the Hasbro patented plastic-free packaging. Don't know why I keep mentioning that. So on to the back of the box, we can get a little more information on these blasters. Starting off with the Ace. The Ace is a very simple blaster. You load a dart into the barrel, pull down the priming handle, pull the trigger to fire. It also has a dart storage in its little scope. So moving on to the Trio, this blaster is very similar to the Ace, except has a smart AR system, which basically means you can fire this blaster 3 times before having to reload. And lastly, the Operator. The Operator has a non-removable scope, has a 2-round capacity. I think it might be smart AR as well, like similar to the Trio, except it fires 2 darts before needing to reload. And it is rear primed. So with that all out of the way, let's get this thing out of the box. Lost my scissors, so I have to use my X-Acto knife. Alright, so here we have all the blasters out of the box, or darts here as well. Usually we start off with the paperwork, but there's no paperwork. The instructions are on the bottom of the box. So starting off with the Ace. Ace is a very simple blaster, very small blaster. Very simple to use. Take your dart, load it into the barrel, pull the prime handle down, and then you pull the trigger. We have our little scope. There's our sight picture. But scope also doubles as a dart holder. Holds some darts in pretty well. Other times it doesn't, so it all depends on what dart you put in there. Next, we have the Trio. Trio is very simple as well. Instead, it can hold 3 darts instead of 1. And fires each of them one at a time. It kind of has a sight through the tactical rail, but the tactical rail is really used for things like this Viewpoint scope. Tap on there. Lastly, we have the Operator. To load this, also simple. Has these 2 barrels here. Load to the side. It can hold 2 darts. Has a rear prime, very short prime. And fires the top. And fires the bottom barrel. There's its sight picture. A little reticle in there, a little crosshair. And it also has a tactical rail on the bottom. We have a Retaliator foregrip. Put that on there. You can put whatever you want on there. A light, more dart storage if you have it. Pretty much anything. A bipod. Be kind of cool. Anyway, so with that all the way, let's get these blasters out on the range and see how they fare. Alright, so here we are at the range test. As you can see, we have our targets set up right over there. We're going to be starting off with the Ace, firing Nerf Elite. I will be shooting this blaster 6 times for all the darts. In fact, all the blasters will be shot. We'll be shooting 6 darts for all their tests, range, speed, and accuracy. So let's see if we can hit anything. A little high. Aiming this thing weird. Kind of hard to aim. A little to the left. Gosh, I can't aim it better. This is a short range blaster, so I'm not gonna dock too many points for it. So I hit nothing. Moving on to the next dart. Next, we have Adventure Force. And by the way, Adventure Force does fit in the dart holder pretty well. Once again, firing 6 shots at the targets. Ooh, almost. Better, it's going straighter. Oh, that one fishtailed. I think the dart head on that one was coming off. Moving down. I will say, I can probably hit it with enough shots, enough practice. Oh, got one. And that hit it. That actually hit it. So Venture Force is pretty accurate as usual. Feels like it is flying a little slower. Now onto Dart Zone. Onto Dart Zone. The dart holder does kind of work. So we can hit anything. Ooh, almost. You fired it. Aim it better. Just see if you can use the scope. Try 2 hands. Oh, almost. Oh, got it. Go for the other target. Oh, went off to the side. And went off to the side. As usual, Dart Zone is a middle ground here. So, kind of in between Adventure Force and Nerf Performance. So, yeah, that out of the way. Let's move on to the next blaster. Alright, onto the trio with Nerf Elite. And just like the Ace, I will be firing 6 shots. Alright. Went down. Went down. Aim a little higher. Went over it, too high. Try aiming with 2 hands. It went around it. How's that even possible? They were going under, over, and around. That was weird. It went around all the targets. Alright, on to the next dart. On to Adventure Force. See if we can hit anything. Better try to aim with 2 hands. Oh, got one. Wasn't what I was aiming at, but still got one. Well, we hit it. I think that's all that matters. We hit something. On to the next dart. On to Dart Zone. Trio is, by all means, a short-range blaster. Oh, almost. We're getting around the general vicinity of the targets. But we still can't hit anything. Have anything bigger targets? I don't know. On to the next blaster. On to the operator with Nerf Elite. Just like the other 2 blasters, we'll be firing this thing 6 times. We can hit anything. Hopefully the scope works. It went down. That went up. It went far. I'll give it that. It went far. Hopefully this 3rd point of contact with the stock helps. Oh. Oh, got it. Got it. Okay, this one is different. Definitely upgrade from the last 2. Okay. Not bad. Anyway, on to the next dart. Alright, on to Adventure Force. Missed. I do need to buy more Adventure Force darts because these ones are a little worn out. So, something to keep in mind. Probably will work better with fresh darts. Oh, cool, got it. Almost. I'm aiming a little off. Need to aim better. Oh, almost. And hit the table. Alright. They do fly straighter. Oh, by the way, this right here, a little priming indicator. Didn't notice that. Anyway, on to the last dart. So on to dart zone. Alright, see if we can hit anything. Nope. Those went down. Reloading is also a little more difficult. A little bit difficult to do. Missed. Oh, got something. Hit the can. Smaller than those other targets too, so. Got an egg. And hit the can again. Alright, so fairly accurate. Seemed to do, at least in my opinion, the best with dart zone. I mean, as usual, dart zone is kind of the middle ground. Not too fast where it goes all over the place, but it's not incredibly accurate either. Kind of middle ground. Anyway, on to the range test. Alright, so here we are on the range. As usual, for context, the chicken is 25 feet, frog is 40 feet, and the back wall is 50 feet from where I'm standing. Let's start off with the ace firing Nerf Elite. See if we can hit anything. Well, not hit anything. I want to see how far it goes. Not hit anything. It's not just accuracy. And we end up hitting the wall. Okay. Curve. Nope, 25-foot mark. One did go, I think, to the 30. Alright. On to the next dart. Alright. Adventure Force. Seems to be around. I need to put a 30-foot marker or something just to better see where they are. I think that one was 30 feet. Alright. On to the last dart. Under dart zone. Okay. Oh, I kind of see where they're hitting. Oh, that one went far. That one definitely was, that one was on a mission. Alright, alright. Let's go down and see where those things landed. Alright, so we have our tape measure set out. I'm going to be measuring from our little frog marker here, which is approximately 40 feet. It's 40 feet, give or take a few inches. I think it's 41, actually, where it's sitting right now. Generally, they were landing around the, right around here, which is 6 feet away from 40, so that's about a 34, 35 foot mark, if that thing really is farther away than it actually is, or shorter, I don't really know. That's kind of where they were going. Adventure Force was going about the 30-foot mark, maybe 31 at best. So Adventure Force was going the shortest. Dart Zone, I feel like, was the best. Not in terms of range, but overall. As I said before, take a middle ground, and Nerf hitting walls all over the place. So that's something to keep in mind. Alright, on to the next blaster. Alright, so on to the trio, starting off with Nerf Elite. Oh, curved. Almost went 40 feet. The wind is definitely picking these darts and bringing them to the 40-foot mark. But of course, oh, that one's straight down to the wall and low. Alright, on to Adventure Force. Alright, we have Adventure Force here. Eesh, those aren't the best. I'm kind of seeing where they're landing. They're landing right just behind the chicken. I only about 30 feet. More than 30. And that one was just dead. I've said it before, say it again. I need new Adventure Force darts, so I'll go buy some. Alright, on to the next dart. Lastly, for the trio, we have Dart Zone. The wall. Ooh, that one's pretty far. Okay, that one's going. Oh, that one was an angled shot. It went beyond the 40 feet with an angled shot. So keep that in mind. Most of these shots that I'm firing are straight. But that one that went really far, that was an angled shot. So something to keep in mind. Alright, let's go check out those ranges. Alright, here's our shortest dart. Less than 25 feet. But of course, probably because it wasn't going to air seal. A lot of those darts are laying around here. 11 feet away from the 40 foot mark. About the 29 foot mark, 30 feet, we'll just round it up to 30. Adventure Force, about 30. 35-ish, maybe beyond 35. We had Nerf. The Dart Zone was going pretty far. I'd say a little over 35, maybe 37, 38. One went to 40 because of that angled shot. But generally, if Nerf would fly a little straighter, Nerf was getting picked up by the wind and going up and all over the place. I think it could have gotten to the 40 foot mark. By the way, if the range data is slightly different than the Ultimate Blaster Pack review, that's probably because blasters vary in quality. They do vary all the time. Sometimes you get a really weak blaster, but then you buy it again and it's a really strong. I definitely have seen that before. So these are just what I found. They all differ. Accuracy, range, and speeds all differ from every blaster. So, alright, on to the next blaster. Alright, on to the operator. That was firing angled up. I'm seeing that things are going about the 35 foot mark. I really need more range markers. We gotta figure out what else to add to the range. Also, I think the camera's off center. Alright, on to the next dart. Alright, on to Adventure Force. Which I will say looks very nice with this color scheme. Oh, that actually went pretty far. And so that one, slight angle. For a blaster with a very, very short pull on the prime, it's actually not bad. And of course, that last one was very, very worn out. Alright, on to the next dart. Alright, on to Dart Zone. Oh, that went far. Oh, that went 40 foot. That hit the 40 foot mark. It actually hit the marker, so. I think Dart Zone's a winner with the operator. Alright. Let's go check out those ranges. Alright, so here are the ranges. Or not really the ranges. But Dart Zone was flying right around the 35, 40 foot mark. I think it was going more like 37 on this one. Nerf, same thing. It was going about the 35, 40 foot mark. And Adventure Force, maybe 30, 35, 36, 37. It was kind of a variable range here. Adventure Force was probably the shortest. Dart Zone was probably the furthest. And then, strangely enough, Nerf is kind of the middle ground this time. Overall, pretty nice. Didn't hit the walls with the Nerf darts too much this time. Maybe this blaster is a little bit accurate. There's a little bee. Cool. It is a very gloomy day today, so I don't know why the bees are out. Anyway, on to the speed test. Alright, so here we are at the speed test. Starting off with the Ace, shooting Nerf Elite. Alright. 54. 59. 54 again. How many was that? I don't know how many shots I'm firing. 58. Oh, almost 60. 66. 59. Alright. Not quite 60, but we got close. Alright, we got here Adventure Force. 73. 71. Wow, these are odd. I don't know why Adventure Force is so powerful. 51. That makes more sense. 52. 50. Air 2. Alright, well, on to the next dart. Anyway, dart zone. 53. 55. 52. 54. 76. 51. And 54. Kind of interesting, putting the speeds on screen now. 70s for Adventure Force. That's a little weird. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, on to the next blaster. Alright, gotta use the trio. See if it's any different than when I first tested it with the Ultimate Blaster Pack. 77. 72. Didn't pick that one up, but 76. 70. 63. Anyway, Adventure Force. 75. 64. Didn't pick up for some reason. 62. Error. Error, nothing, didn't register. 77. Strolled that middle barrel once more. Didn't get anything out of it. 61. Alright. Dart zone. 70. 66. 75? Wow, that's kind of a big jump. 76. 65. And 61. Alright, putting speeds up on screen. Kind of interesting. They were going 60s and 70s, weirdly. I don't think anything hit 50, and if it was, it's high 50. Alright, on to the next blaster. Alright, the operator. Loaded up with Nerf Elite. 67. 64. If the audio does sound a little quieter, or sounds like I'm yelling, it's because I kind of am. I'm trying new microphone settings today. 60. 67. 66. And 64. Alright, 60s. Not bad, not bad. On to Adventure Force. Got Adventure Force right here. 59. 64. 65. 62. 59. And 46. I wonder if that one was a little off to the side, so maybe didn't pick it up too fast. Alright, dart zone. 63. Error 2. 60. 63. 69. And 63. I'm just going to fire one more out of the bottom barrel because we didn't get that one last time. 59. Alright, put the speeds up on screen. Seemed to go pretty consistent. That one was a very, very consistent blaster, I will say. Alright, let's move on to my final thoughts. Alright, so are my final thoughts on the Nerf Elite 2.0 Tactical Pack. Before we do that, as usual, we need to go worry about it, how much I spent. I purchased this at Target for $27.99 USD. And with all of these blaster packs, we have a couple blasters here that can be purchased on their own. Starting off with the trio retails for $8.99 USD and comes with 6 darts. The Ace retails for $4.49 USD and has 2 darts, comes with 2 darts. Adding together and subtracting from the total cost of the blaster pack, we're left with $14.51 is the cost we're left with if we subtract these two. And we have 12 darts with this. Also keep that in mind. So anyway, with the pricing and everything out of the way, let's move on to the pros and cons. Alright, so on to pros and cons. Starting off with the pros and cons of the pack itself before we go on to the blasters individually. So first is kind of a minor con. This blaster pack being a Target exclusive. At least as of today, it's a Target exclusive because I haven't seen it in other stores. which can be seen as a problem if you don't have a target in your area. The other con comes from the variety of blasters you have in this pack. Basically, you get 2 bottom prime blasters and 1 rear prime blaster. I would say this blaster is the weakest of the whole pack. Not saying it's weak in performance or anything, just because it's the least interesting. It's not interesting at all, and it's kind of just a jolt. So, also there isn't any accessories that comes with these blasters, so that can also be seen as an issue. But moving on to the pros. Pros, I'd say it has some decent value to it. $27.99 I don't think is a bad price for these, especially because you're getting a trio here, which is already a blaster you can buy off the shelf, and a ace. Keep forgetting the name of this thing. You want to call it a jolt, but you get the ace as well, and they're not just the standard ones. They're in this different color scheme, and honestly, I kind of like the color scheme of these blasters. It's very cool aesthetic to it. Anyway, with the blaster pack pros and cons of the way, let's move on to the pros and cons of the blasters. Starting off with the ace. So the ace, can't say that many negatives about it. The only negative I can say about it is it's kind of a odd blaster to hold. Doesn't feel right for some reason. It has kind of jagged edges here, but it's not super uncomfortable. Just, I don't know. It's a really small blaster, but can't complain too much. Especially because this is kind of the successor to the Jolt, which is a very small, compact, affordable blaster. Not the best, but it is affordable. Kind of a nice starter blaster. Can't really say anything negative about this. So on to pros, I do like the inclusion of this dart holder and scope. It doesn't really work for any of its intended purposes, but it's there in case you want it. Kind of a nice feature. Holds the darts all right and can barely aim with it, but overall it's a nice inclusion. Also the color schemes, and in particular this ace, the color scheme is I think exclusive to this pack, so it is kind of a nice, cool, different color scheme. Do like it. Like I said, a nice balance of colors. On to the next blaster. On to the trio. We already went into detail about this blaster in the Ultimate Blaster Pack review, but we'll go over pros and cons of it real quick. First off, this blaster is kind of hard to aim because the barrels are vertical, so you have to aim higher and higher every shot. It is better than having them side by side, though. The only other con I have about this blaster is loading your darts. Because the blaster does not cover the entire foam, loading your darts in normally does end up bending them. Of course, that's just me. I don't know. There is a simple solution to this, and that's grabbing a little bit higher up on the foam, putting them in like that. Shouldn't have a problem. Pros on the trio. First off, very smooth prime, very nice trigger pull. Has a tactical rail that can double as a sight, but it's cool to see a blaster of this size have a tactical rail. And for this particular trio, I like the color scheme of it. It's a nice, cool looking color scheme. Kind of an odd choice of color for the base of it, but I kind of like it. It's kind of a fun color for this blaster. So with that out of the way, on to the next blaster. Our last blaster is the Operator, basically the big blaster of the pack. Let's just start off with cons. Its biggest con that I have with it is definitely loading it. It is kind of crammed in here. Not completely undoable and doesn't completely ruin the blaster, but it's something to keep in mind. Something else to keep in mind is how you grip the blaster. I think Nerf intends you to grip it from here, this little grip here. I think they intend you to grab it from here, but you kind of want to hold it from, kind of end up wanting to hold it here, right in the barrel. Your fingers kind of curl around into the barrel. I mean, I never had problems with it because my fingers do clear the dart, and the dart doesn't hit the finger if I angle it right. But you could hit your finger with the dart if you're not careful. I was kind of holding it from the accessory rail here, so guess that works. But if you do end up gripping it, be sure to clear your finger of the dart. Something that can also be seen as a problem is how close the priming handle is from your face. Now, I know it doesn't reciprocate back into you, and that's not the point, but it could grip onto something, especially if you have your face hair or something. Could be pulled by the priming handle because your face is right there. Not the best design choice, but it's not a big deal. So what about the pros? First off, its aesthetics. I like its aesthetics. Looks pretty cool. Pretty nice looking blaster. Prime on this blaster is short, but that definitely isn't an indicator of what kind of power this thing has. I was definitely surprised at how powerful this blaster is and how nice of a blaster it is, despite having such a kind of light prime to it. Trigger pull is also very nice. Scope, I like the scope. Scope's cool. Scope's really nice on this blaster. Very comfortable, ergonomically. Stock is solid on this blaster. Very solid blaster. Even though it's made of that softer plastic, it is a very solid blaster. I do like the inclusion of a priming indicator. That is kind of cool. Even though the priming handle is basically a priming indicator, I still think that's kind of cool. Also, the inclusion of a tactical rail right here is very nice. Even though you don't have one for the scope, which I kind of wish the scope was removable, you still have one for a foregrip or a bipod. So would I recommend the tactical pack? Definitely. If you're in the market for some cool looking blasters or some specially colored blasters, I do think that this pack it's worth it. Maybe buy it on sale, get even more value out of it. But I do think at full price it's a decent price for it. While it is lacking in variety of blasters you get, because you have these two bottom prime blasters and two smart AR blasters here, I still think it's a fun pack. It's a very, very fun. I had a lot of fun with the Operator. Very cool blaster. And it is an exclusive, so you get an exclusive blaster in the pack, and it does come with exclusive colored versions of the Trail and the Ace, so also kind of cool. And you also get the Ace, which I kind of feel like every Nerf collection is never complete until you have a Jolt or something similar to a Jolt. Alright, so that'll be the end of the review. Like to say again, thank you to Mark Sebastian Velasco for suggesting this blaster pack. It is very much appreciated. And if you would like to suggest what other blasters or blaster packs you want to see on the channel, be sure to comment those down below. Be sure to check out the review on the Ultimate Blaster Pack. Be sure to check out my other videos. I'll have both of those linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.